Busting these 3 myths would have cut my weight loss journey from 3 years to 6 months. These myths kept me trapped in a mindset of I have to give up my favorite foods and I have to do this much exercise, which of course meant I couldn't stick to anything because I hated my life while losing weight. When the truth is, there's a lot of flexibility to make weight loss easy and, dare I say, enjoyable.
You are under arrest for revealing state secrets.
If we cut carbs, we cut a major fuel source for heart.
Your body doesn't actually need carbohydrates.
You want to stay away from the stair mills and you want to run. Run.
Jogging is going to ruin your physique.
Intermittent fasting is one of the best tools for weight loss there is.
If you skip a meal and you do it regularly, in the long run, it could actually lower your lean body mass.
Wait, which is true? The truth is they all cause weight loss. This is why you can find testimonials for each method despite them being contradictory. Think of each method as a road, all leading to the same destination, your goal size. Some roads are hillier and take more energy. Some roads have fewer rest stops. Some roads aren't enough on their own and join another road to get you to destination. So the first myth wasting your time is the belief that there is just one road, one diet, or one workout for you, when the reality is you have to put together pieces from different methods to build your own path to goal. But how do you do this? It starts with identifying the commonality between the methods out there and then identifying your simplest one thing to practice that commonality. Digging into step 1, let's look again at the contradictory list of methods from before. What do cutting carbs, eating carbs, intermittent fasting, and eating at all meal times have in common? They all cause some kind of portioning to happen. If you cut carbs, you automatically cut out all the foods we tend to overeat. The trade-off is this may be difficult to do for the rest of your life, given the world we live in. Thus, the advice to eat carbs staves off falling off the wagon by having you still fit in easily with society, but pairing it with portioning strategies like smaller bowls or drinking water as a speed bump or something else. Intermittent fasting similarly causes you to cut portions by relying on the physical limits of how much a person can eat in one sitting. The trade-off is again the longevity of the practice given the world we live in. So eating at regular times allows you to integrate better with society while pairing you with the strategy of cutting portions per meal while upping the number of meals per day. Hopefully, you're seeing now that each method is simply operating on a scale of flexibility. The more flexible it is, the more you need to combine it with other methods to get to goal, which yes, requires you to think on your own to find your unique path. The less flexible it is, the less you have to think, but the higher the risk of not getting to and staying at goal because it requires giving up a lot of foods you enjoy and enforcing discipline during life's natural ups and downs, which can make sticking to an inflexible plan extremely hard. I recommend sticking to the more flexible side of the scale despite the extra thinking because of 2 reasons. 1, you can craft your own path that makes weight loss actually enjoyable for you. I know! Mind-blowing!
FBI, open up!
And 2, unlike the less flexible methods, it doesn't paper over the root cause of why weight loss is hard. Your relationship with food. Sort of like if you have a roommate who keeps leaving dirty dishes in the sink, but you don't want to have an argument, so you do the dishes for them. But despite everything looking dandy on the surface, your resentment toward your roommate grows and grows until one day it boils over into an ugly argument. Similarly, you can paper over the fact that you cannot stop overeating by, say, cutting all carbs. But the root reason for why you overeat carbs is still unaddressed. Over time, on holidays, vacations, or even at home after a particularly stressful day, you will again come face to face with the fact that your emotional relationship with food remains unchanged. And this will boil over into feelings of, this is unfair. And you will rebel by finally doing what you want. This is one of the reasons why the less flexible methods don't last. They paper over psychological barriers with tactical solutions. But to be clear, even when practicing the inflexible methods, which unlike the flexible methods, constantly give you opportunities to address your relationship with food, you could still ignore doing so, thus still failing. If you have ever overeaten one day and then tried to burn it all by exercising a lot the next day, you have unaddressed relationship with food issues. Or if you have been exercising consistently and then start thinking, I've been so good, I deserve a treat, then that's another sign you have a relationship with food issues to work through. This is why you must stop believing the third myth, that weight loss can be treated like a pure mathematical equation. You're not a robot, you have an extra thing called psychology. But how do you address it? You make the invisible visible. Every time you go off plan, note down the dialogue in your mind before, during, and after the incident. And then over time, as you collect these thought processes, you'll start noticing patterns. Like, I get stressed every time I talk to Bob. Or, I'm really harsh with myself. I'd never talk that way to a friend. Once you note these patterns, underline the one pattern that if addressed would reduce these incidents the most. Then hypothesize one thing you'll try to address that pattern for 1 week and see how it goes. If it went well, keep doing it. If it didn't work, you'll have uncovered a new thought process and can hypothesize a new one thing to try. It's a win-win, regardless of whether it works or not. Which, again, is part of what will make weight loss enjoyable. You will feel like you're making forward progress, no matter the outcome of the week. Hands up! So, you're saying that if people use flexible methods and address their psychology, they'll see progress every week? No. Wait, you will make progress every week until you reach the end of your current stage. Think back. You must have had times where you're doing everything right, whether it be with inflexible or flexible methods, and you're seeing weight loss every week. Things are going great, and you think you'll ride this choose-you train all the way to the end. But then suddenly, weight loss stops. You haven't changed anything you're doing, and yet it stopped working. If you're like I was, you go even harder. You up your exercise, you cut more of your food. You're all in. The scale budges a little, and then stops again in a week. What is going on? What's happened is you have reached the end of your current stage of weight loss. Think of it like running a marathon without training. At first you start out with a good steady pace, but then you slow down as fatigue starts settling in, and eventually, because you went couch to marathon, fatigue overwhelms your body and you stop entirely. Similarly in weight loss, there are 3 phases you repeat over and over again. First, when you start losing weight, you do so quicker than usual, but this slows down within a few weeks. And then if you keep doing the right things, you see steady progress at this rate until you hit an inevitable plateau. At this point, you've progressed to the next stage, and you need to change something to resume your weight loss. Once you successfully figure this out, you start again from phase 1. And on this goes for each stage of your weight loss. This is why you need to bust the third myth, that weight loss can be linear. In fact, these 3 graphs are the typical patterns that we see if everything is done right.
He's running down towards the street. Go. We don't see him.
Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if this is an undesirable trend I should do something about, or should I just be patient about it? The way you figure it out is by tracking more than just weight. This is why you don't want to ignore this video, where I show you the 6 metrics that will definitively tell you which of these 3 graphs is you and how to optimize them so you have the least amount of time between plateaus. So you don't want to miss the step-by-step breakdown of the 6 metrics in this video over here. And always remember, you can do it!